Hey guys, welcome back. And today's video we will be discussing about parallel for each scope. I know this is one of the piece which was pending for a long time, and I somehow forgot to cover this particular topic. So here it is today. So we will first go with the basic understanding, that is the concept building session, and after that we will cover up a demo which can showcase all the capabilities and the topics which we are going to discuss in the concept building. So parallel for each scope. So it is being used to process a collection of messages by splitting the collection into the parts that are simultaneously processed in separate routes within the scope of limitation configured for concurrent processing. So in other words, it is being used for parallel processing. So in one shot, a collection will be splitted into different parts and it will be processed in parallel. After all messages are processed, the results are aggregated following the same order in the order in which they were split before. So the order will remain same and it will be respected at the output, aggregated output of this parallel for each scope. So I will go back and forth in my studio and to the concept building part just to show the similarities between the two. So this is the Anypoint Studio. This is 7.7, the latest one which is available. So here you can see this is 7.7. This is the latest version of it. So why I'm pinpointing this one? Because 7.7 has now been rolled out and it is coming up with a lot many upgrades and new features which I have already covered in one of my previous video. So in order to understand more about parallel for each, let's try to identify the parallel for each first. So what you can do, you can drag and drop this parallel for each scope onto the canvas, and after that this particular window will come up. Okay, so what all these are all about? Collection will be the same, like on basis of what this parallel for each loop will execute. Timeout will be the for each parallel route. By default there is no timeout, but if you want to specify anything, so it will respect that particular positive integer value. Maximum concurrency, it's like all routes will run in parallel by default, but you can specify how many parallel instances should run as well. If you don't specify anything, all routes will run in parallel. Similarly, the target variable and target value will be configured as we have seen in majority of the connectors. Okay, so this was about it, and it is giving one example, so I am going to cover this. The second one is about the variable. So let me try to explain this particular snippet, and then we will take the actual use case as well. So it is starting with a flow name like my flow, and there are two variables being defined: variable 1 with var1 as the value and variable 2 as var2 as the value. Now it starts with the parallel for each scope. Inside that we are passing a collection of basically an array of 3 elements: apple, banana, orange, and when there is a choice in between, when it checks the payload equal to apple, then it sets two variables, that is variable 2 equal to new val, the previous value was var2, and a new variable is being created, a scope of which is limited to the parallel for each itself. So var3 is being defined as apple val. Similarly, there is one more condition: when the payload is banana, then var3 is being defined as banana value. Otherwise, var3 and var4 are being configured. So in short, var1 and var2 are being defined outside the scope of parallel for each with value var1 and var2, whereas the values like var2, var3 and var4 are being created only within this scope, and there was a manipulation around var2 value. var2 is being changed to new val. Now, as per the concept, the new variables or modification of already existing variables while processing one element are not visible while processing another element. So in short, all those variable changes are not available outside the parallel for each scope. The set of variables after the execution of parallel for each scope remains the same as before execution. So it means whatever value of var1 and var2 are being configured before the start of this parallel for each, it will remain same and it will not get impacted. And var3 and var4 will not be available outside the scope of parallel for each. So none of the modification done inside the parallel for each, including the creation of new variables, it will be available outside the parallel for each. So we will be covering this as well. Now coming to the error handling part of it. So in parallel for each we can have multiple routes, and if it is an error in processing in one of the route, it will continue the processing for all the other routes until all finish their processing. Once the processing is being finished, then all results including any errors will be aggregated and then processed to the error handler. So in this particular example, it was erroring out if there is anything other than banana as the payload. Okay, sorry, when the payload is equal to banana, then it is going to throw an error which can be raised through a raise error activity, and this will be propagated to the error handler section, in which we are going to check for the composite routing. So if it is a composite routing, then it is going to check all these conditions and accordingly it will log the message. We are going to see this as well in our use case. Now finally it talks about the difference between parallel for each and for each. As I mentioned, parallel means you can say the simultaneous run or in parallel processing of the records. For each works sequentially, parallel works in parallel, and this creates a difference in error handling as well. So whenever there is an error within the records of for each, let's say there are 10 records and it errors out on the 5th, the for each loop will exit then and there. Whereas in the case of parallel for each, every route will be processed before invoking the error handler with mule composite route as error type. For each doesn't modify the payload, while parallel for each outputs a collection of output message from each iteration. So we are going to discuss this as well in our use case. So let's quickly jump to the Endpoint Studio, in which I have already configured this particular parallel for each flow. So how it look like is, it is like one listener is there and it is having post as the method, okay, and path as /parallel. Then I'm going to log it. Then I'm setting a variable outside the limit of parallel for each, and then if the payload name dot name equals to capital A Ankit, then it is going to set the variable 2 and it is going to raise an error. Now the scope of variable 2 is only within the parallel for each, okay, and within the parallel for each, in the default path, I am going to set the variable var1 again to super. The previous value was var1. After that, there is a transform message which I have put down, and since it is a composite, multiple payloads will be getting created for each instance of it, so that's why payload is being used. After that, there is a logger to print the overall payload just after completion, and there is a final logger which shows the value of var1 and var2. So let's get started and let's see the different values coming out of it. One more thing, if the value is being equals to Ankit, that is the name equals to Ankit, then I am going to raise the custom invalid data, okay, and it comes down to the error handling part of mule composite routing, okay, and let me put one more over here. 1 second guys. So this I will mark as any, Okay, and let me put down a logger. I will put the message as error message. I will save this, and now I'm going to run this particular parallel for each use case. While it gets in the studio, it gets set up. Let me open up my Postman, in which I have already configured some of the values. Okay, so these are the value sets. Within the transform message, I am putting payload named and then hyphen processed, space hyphen processed, if it goes in the default path. Let's see if it is ready. Yes, it is. I will clear up the console and then I will hit with a positive scenario without any error. Let's see how it goes. So I got the response back, and it is clubbing all those payloads within one particular array using payload which we have configured. So it is all these values space hyphen processed, and it is being repeating for all the names within the payload. Now if we go back to our logs, and if we try to see the values which we are going to print, we are printing the value of var1 and var2, right? So var1 will still have the same value which we have set outside the scope of parallel for each, whereas var2, the scope ended in the parallel for each itself, and it is not available within this logger level. Not this one, this particular logger var2, and that's why it is coming as null. One more thing I want to show: all receive request, it is coming in one shot, and after that this process, that is this particular thing, so it is almost at the same time, right? 936 milliseconds, and finally the last one, Ricardo. And the order doesn't matter over here. Reason being, it is the parallel processing, so it doesn't wait on a particular order. So it is also one of the important thing when we compare it with for each for exact sequential. It respects the order in which the incoming payload is appearing, whereas in the parallel for each it is being splitted into the multiple records, and order it is being also being it doesn't respect the order in which the payload record is being received. So that's why you can see the first one received is this one is being processed, but the first one we have sent was this one. So this was a slight difference between for each and parallel for each. Let's go back to our documentation quickly, and let's see the negative scenario as well once. So what I'm going to do, I'm putting as this as capital, and let's see the send. So we got a negative scenario like invalid data. Okay, now let me show you, and let me clear up the console first, and let me try to hit it once again. Okay, now we have sent capital A. Okay, and now here you can see everything apart from that particular value is being processed. After that is it mentioned like it was being error out for route 1, that is 0th and the first one, and then it is going to error out. So in other words, rest of the records are being processed, and the one which is being errored out, that is being reported at the end of the entire processing. So this is also being I have tried to showcase. So variable handling and the example we have covered almost pretty much. Let's try to compare it with for each as well. So this particular flow is more or less similar to what we have created for parallel for each. I'm going to discuss a couple of things like the order in which the payload is being handled, what if it errors out in between, and what is the scope of variables. The same exact replica, but this time only for each. So I'm going to hit the same from my Postman. I'm going to hit now send positive scenario. So here you go. It is following exactly the same order in which it is being sent, and here you can see it is using, it is not in parallel. 675, then 679, taking sometimes 688, 694. So it is not in parallel, and the values which we are going to print, it respects the value which we are being configuring it inside the for each. That is, variable 2 is being set to var2, and the final value of var1 was new value. So new value and var2 are being printed as part of this particular logger. Not this one, this one. Okay. So here was the difference between the variable value propagation, and after for each, this is how it will respond back the overall payload. Okay. And what if it errors out at Ankit at the second entry? Let's see that scenario as well. Let me clear up the console and hit the send button. So it shows invalid data, and how it goes, it only process the first record, and then as soon as it get the error, it stops the flow then and there. It doesn't go ahead with the next set of available data. So this was a different or drastic change between the parallel for each and the for each. So this was the use case in which I have tried to showcase the capability of parallel for each against for each scope. So before we wind up, let's try to compare the two different scopes, that is parallel for each and for each. I have just listed down the comparison between for each, parallel for each and batch, but for batch processing I would recommend you to go and check my previous video on batch processing. It is being pretty much detailed discussed over there. So for each and parallel for each, execution level of support, it starts with mule 3.x onwards, whereas in parallel for each it starts from 4.2 onwards. So when we say 4.2 onwards, in 4.2 I have seen this parallel for each scope, this particular drag and drop thing was not available, so we have to manually create the tags for parallel for each. So just in case if you are using parallel for mule run time anything less than 4.3 or 7.6.0 of Anypoint Studio, below than that, then make sure you are using these particular tags. Okay, in place of for each, just use this parallel for each if you want to implement parallel for each. If you see for each, how it will look like, it will be like this, and for parallel for each you have to just add parallel and then hyphen in between. So it's just like that, and rest of the things are pretty much same unless you want to configure the timeouts and other stuff. Okay, so this was about the execution support. Next is the graphical support. This we have already covered. Execution pattern, it is like synchronous, and this is also synchronous. Sequential, because it was respecting the order in which the incoming payload was appearing, whereas for parallel for each it was in parallel. There is an option of using batch size in for each, like if you go and see the configuration, there is an option of setting the batch size, whereas in the case of parallel for each there is no value of batch size. Okay, now the error handling, it stops processing if the error is not handled, whereas in this case it continues with the processing, and in the final stage it will come up with mule composite route error. Similarly, for the sequential processing, for each can be used, whereas parallel processing with synchronous set of data, parallel for each is being used. For small data, for each is absolutely fine, but if it is of medium range of data, it is like neither too large in terms of 100 millions of data records. So it can be used for parallel for each. Again, you have to use it with multiple rounds of performance testing in order to decide the range of your medium data. And the output, in case of parallel for each, it's the accumulated output, whereas in the case of for each, it's the original payload. And if you want to change anything, you want to use custom logic to get each record processing. So this was a very brief discussion about parallel for each and for each. I hope you like this video, and thanks for watching.